Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today I'm going to be doing a preview video of a game called Dungeons and Feelings. This is a game by Gwyn Games. I'd like to thank Gwyn Games for sending me this copy for preview. So this is a social dungeon crawler. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to show you how to play to make you understand why I'm calling it a social dungeon crawler. Like I said, this is just a preview video. This is not a review. This video is made just to see if, show you what this game is all about, how it plays, and maybe you'll be interested in purchasing it. I'll be posting a link to the game's website in the comment section if you're interested in purchasing it. So let me show you how to play, and then I'm gonna let you know who this game is for, and maybe you could determine if you want to purchase it yourself. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to play Dungeons and Feelings. This is going to be the character sheet. So you're going to choose out of all these different characters here. Of course, I have the knight. He's going to start with a melee weapon, the sword right here. Everyone's going to take a key. You're going to have your health marker on 6, and you have your level marker on level 1. So the way this game works is you're going to be building out this dungeon. I'm setting up for a 3-player game right now. So the way you win this game is you have to get 6 victory points. How do you get victory points? Well, it tells you right here. You get 2 victory points for collecting sets of armor, trade each color gem, use 4 unique counters, or you can slay the dragon. And you get 1 victory point for collecting sets of weapons. So like if you have a melee, you have like an bow and arrow, or other different types of weapons, magic weapons. So that will be considered a set. Getting different sets of accessories, which are up here. Connecting the most portals, that's being done from the dungeon here. Build a rectangular map. And then there's miscellaneous victory points that are located on the cards. So in a 3-player game, these are going to be the resource cards that are over here. You're going to have the treasure cards. So in a 3-player game, you're going to get 3 of each resource. That's labeled out over here. 4-player game, same thing. And then as you set up, everybody's gonna get these dungeon cards. And as you see, I have 3 starting dungeon tiles already set up. So I'm just giving you a brief overview of what it's gonna look like. So this is just basic. If you play the game yourself, it could look a lot more different. As I stated before, you get the keys. Yeah, everyone starts off with a key. That's very, very important. So, and then you're gonna lay out 5 cards depending on the players. Each player is gonna get 2 random room cards, with the first player adding 1 room to the dungeon around, and you're gonna lay these tiles around the dungeon, and you're gonna be going around twice, and then setting up the dungeon. Again, it's gonna look a lot different when you're playing yourself. Everyone's gonna get treasure cards depending on these cards right here. I'm just gonna show what they look like. So this was again another melee weapon. So you're gonna get treasure cards depending on the difficulty. 2 for easy, 1 medium, 0 for hard. And then you're gonna get 5 random resource cards on top of the resource cards you already have from this random deck here. So on a player's turn, it's gonna be played in different phases. So a phase ends after everyone has taken 3 turns, and then you're gonna start all over again with the dungeon tiles. Everything is gonna get removed from up here, and then you're gonna reset again. Now on your turn, you can draw resource cards from the communal pool. You can craft, which I will go over later, or you can traverse through the dungeon again with your player right here. Now on your turn, like I said before, the first thing you can do is draw resources. So you would draw 2 from the deck here, and if there's only 1 available, you can only take that 1 resource. Once they're depleted, then you can't take anything else, and it won't be reset until the next phase. And the number replenished should be the number of players plus 1. Like I said, the second thing you can do is craft. So when you craft an item, it tells you right here what you need to craft that item. So, the beginning of the game, you're going to start with a bomb, and 2 bombs and a magic mirror, and that's shown with these markers here. You would take your markers here, and you would place them on next to the item that you have crafted. So I'll just give you an example. So let's say you want to craft this mana, which requires glass and a mushroom. So you have the glass right here, and the mushroom. So this is where the feelings part comes in with the game. So you have on these cards words at the bottom. So you have kids, and you have prediction. So again, let me get another example here. So you have regret here. So what you would do is you would roll this dice, and depending on what you roll will let you know which player you're going to ask the question. So you can ask the question to the player: do you regret, or is there any regretful kids you've had? So something similar to that. And once they do that, you're going to get the item that you crafted, and the player that you ask that question to is going to be able to take one of these two resources that they want and place them right here next to their board. Once they collect two of the same resource based just from the feeling section alone, then they can take one of that resource. So if I built up to having 2 mushrooms here, then I can take one of those and put them into my hand for use later on. So that's how the feeling section of the game works, and the crafting. The third thing you can do is traverse the dungeon. So you can move up to 3 spots in the dungeon, anywhere you want to go. And as you see on these dungeon spots, they have these different symbols. If you see a red symbol, that means it is a dangerous room, and you have to do the action that's stated right there. So another example is like this is another hazard room, but this is a trap. This is a trap room. Trap rooms are what help you get keys to unlock different other rooms as well. So for example, this has a lock right here, so you can't enter it without a key. So everyone starts with a key. So in order to go into that room, you would have to discard this key. Now there's other certain rooms too that would have like monsters in it, or other actions. Now you don't have to do the action of that room. So for example, here's another one right here. So this person requires 2 skulls to get a victory point. Now, how do you get skulls? Well, by defeating certain monsters. So I'm going to show you how combat works. Now, if you go into this room that's with a monster, it's going to show you're going to automatically start a fight with that monster. Now, you're always going to attack first, so you would look at what weapons you have. So right now, I have a melee weapon, and it requires, so now certain weapons are going to require certain levels. So for example, this axe, you need to be level 2 in order to use it, and it would give you 2 attack. And it also requires certain energy that you will need in order to spend it. So this gives you an attack of 1. The axe gave you an attack of 2. So if you look here, the skeleton has 2 health. So you would hit it for 1, and then he's going to attack you the next in his turn. So here he does 1 damage. You would take that damage, and then again it'd be your turn again. You attack him, and now he's dead. And you would take everything that's here. So you would take the skull and 2 experience. So you would take the experience tokens, which are right here, and these are used obviously to level up to the next level. So how do you level up? So you need 6 experience points and 1 skull in order to get a level 2, 3, and 4. Now, what I didn't mention before are these dragon cards. Now, these are considered the final boss of the game. You get 2 victory points for slaying the dragon, but you can only fight a dragon until you're on level 4. And these can be placed at any time that you want. So like I said before, you have to get 6 victory points in order to win the game. So for example, now this enemy's dead. You would take one of these tokens and you place them here, so that players know that they can no longer do that action in there. Same thing, and the same will go for this person or any other room. Now, if a person wants to do the action of that room, so like there's several rooms here, like you have other trap rooms, or excuse me, I'm just looking for some here. or like say something like this, like the treasure chest. Say there was this resource this token was already on it, that's completed. They can actually do the action of that room, but you have to discard certain amount of experience points in order to restart that room. So you have to discard 2 experience points in order to do the action of that room again. Now, there's also secondary actions. I'm sorry, excuse me. You have to discard 4 experience points to redo the action of a room. Now, actions in the room are optional unless it's in red. If it's in red, then you have to do it immediately. And same goes for monsters. And anytime you encounter a room with a monster, combat is going to happen immediately. Now, when you, I forgot to mention that when you craft, if you're in the same room with another player, you can do a joint craft as well, which is almost, again, very, very similar. But now after those 3 actions, you have some secondary actions that you can do. So one thing you can do is manage your inventory, exchange gems for resources. Your gems would be over here. They would be placed here on your board. You can exchange 2 treasures for 1 new one. So you have 2 treasure cards that you don't like. Just exchange them, get a new card that you, and hopefully push your luck and get something good out of it. You can equip your armor. Again, armor comes in obviously when you're attacked. You would take the armor would take the damage, and you flip it to the side to show that it has been damaged. You can level up as your secondary action, and then use certain items like your energy, your mana, whatever you want. Now, if you die from a monster, you are out of the game. And that's it. So you can be knocked out pretty early if you go and fight a monster that's too high for you. And that's pretty much the game. So you're pretty much doing this until somebody reaches 6 victory points. And I mean, they don't always have to defeat the dragon. Like I said, I say that it's the final boss, but you know, it helps with some of the benefits that you would get on here. But yeah, that's Dungeons and Feelings. We'll go back to, I'll let you know who I think this game is for. So yeah, that's Dungeons and Feelings. As you can see, it's a fairly simple game. The rules aren't too bad. Again, the rule book, there's no rule book. There's a link to a YouTube channel that shows you how to play, and there's also the rules on the website. So if you want to print out the rules yourself, they're on the game's website. So who is this game for? I can see this game being played in a bar setting. Definitely, I guess, at game cafes. It is an icebreaker game. So if you're on a double date, I think this is a perfect game to play. You know, especially if it's on a blind date or something. But yeah, I can see a lot of couples playing it. Or if you, again, it's not really, I can't see heavy gamers playing this too much, but mostly that non-gamer. If you ever been to a board game cafe, most of the people in there are like either non-gamers or they're light gamers. So this is a really light game. Do I think a lot of people will enjoy it? Yeah, because they have that social aspect. Now, the rules state you don't need to ask those questions if you don't want to. You know, you could ask a question that people don't feel comfortable about, and you know, they don't have to answer. It's just mostly about having fun, and that's what the developer has told me. Now, the reason that there is no rulebook is he's told me that they are constantly updating this game and adding more expansions and more content to it. So it is a ever expanding game. That's what that's what I was told. But yeah, I mean, the people that I've spoken to, they have had fun with it. Like I said, it's a basic, simple game. Don't expect a big dungeon crawl. It's mostly for that social aspect. Again, you're sitting with a bunch of friends, drinking. I think it's a great game that you could take out and have fun with. Again, like a board game cafe, but I think this is best as an icebreaker. Especially if you're going on a double date or a blind date with somebody who could be a gamer. You could take this game out, and I think they'll have a lot of fun with it. Like I stated before, the The link to purchase this game is going to be in the comment section. So if you're interested in purchasing it, you could go right over there. And thanks Gwyn Games for sending me this copy to preview. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Like I said, I'm always on time when somebody asks me a question or anything. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today. That is Dungeons and Feelings by Gwyn Games. Guys, please like and subscribe this video, and I'll be seeing you around.